Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it is great to have you, and Bitcoin has been on an absolute tear lately. Now, if you guys remember my video from a couple of days ago, I explained why Bitcoin was getting ready for a huge move, and here we are not even a couple of days later and Bitcoin is up nearly $1,000. Now, as we reach the end of this measured move, this does not mean that it has to be the end for Bitcoin, because I would argue that Bitcoin's in a more bullish place now than it was while we were inside of this symmetrical triangle, because what we've been doing here is creating consistently higher swing highs and consistently higher swing lows. Now, this is a very, very bullish thing to see. Not only is Bitcoin now above resistance, but we can look towards what this means for the future of Bitcoin on a macro scale, and that's exactly what I want to talk about in today's video. So if any of that interests you, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this one. So with Bitcoin breaking out of this pennant, which is really where we left off in the last video, I was talking about why a large move was coming, and I was actually leaning bullish over here. Now, one of the key reasons that I was leaning bullish for Bitcoin is because, one, we have been in this big uptrend for quite some time now on Bitcoin, and my thoughts were this is a pennant, which is a relatively neutral formation and continuation pattern, and if anything is going to be neutral here, the trend is my friend, and so I'm going to lean bullish on this, and that's exactly what happened. We had this nice uptrend, we had the consolidation forming, and what this actually was just a continuation pattern. Now, speaking as to where we are and why we broke out, Bitcoin was in this symmetrical triangle, and typically these last between 50 and 75% of their lifespan. And what we actually saw that was odd over here is that Bitcoin went far beyond that lifespan and pushed to the 90 plus area, almost riding this guy to the really the absolute end that it could have gone through. But in the end, it was all worth it, because the harder we squeezed, the larger the breakout. And then, of course, seeing ourselves go from around 10,500 all the way up to around 11,500, no one was really complaining there unless you were short. And at the end of the day, this was roughly a measured move or a breakout of about 9% to the upside, which is again, one of those great things to see in the world of cryptocurrency. But as we do reach the end of this measured move, as I talked about, we do have a little bit higher that we can go over here. And in fact, I think that what we can actually see is a continued measured move up to this $12,000 area. Now, once we get to this area, we are going to have a couple different forms of resistance on Bitcoin. So just taking a quick look at the forecast of what we have over here, I want to highlight why we have resistance. So obviously, we do have this $12,000 area of psychological resistance. It's also a previous high where we have seen resistance before, but even zooming out to a little bit more of a macro trend, we can see that we have this trend line over here of where we have bounced off of in the past as support, again right down in here and then again in here, has now been turned into resistance once again over in here and right in here. If we want to zoom in just a little bit more, we can see the first rejection and then the second main rejection. And what we could possibly be looking for over here is that this is going to be used resistance as a third time. Now, this wouldn't be anything unheard of, and this wouldn't be anything that is detrimental or bad or dangerous to Bitcoin. I mean, this is just the textbook way of how technical analysis works. But, it's my belief that if we were going to retest this, yes, there is a lot of resistance, but I think that Bitcoin can break it. And if Bitcoin can break this 12K area with volume, I don't see any reason why it can't go back to a new high. And in fact, I would argue that $12,000 area of resistance is actually going to be stronger than the previous local yearly high of, what was this, $12,500. So if Bitcoin can break that $12,000 area and hold it with momentum and volume, I don't see any reason why we can't see a new yearly high before this year is over. Again, I am still bullish on Bitcoin here. I'm bullish long term, and in fact right now, I would even argue that I'm bullish in the short term. Now, one of the other kind of highlighting factors, there's a bunch here. Again, Bitcoin is looking so nice right now. If we want to actually adjust our resistance line over here to kind of where we have been at, what we can see is that what was previously resistance, well, not once, not twice, but actually twice, is now going to be used as support over here, which is, again, a really good sign for Bitcoin. Seeing former resistance turned into support is just a classic break, hook, and go pattern over here, and that is what I like to see. So what was, previously resistance, we broke above it, we retested it, and we started going back up. This could lead to another large breakout in the price action of Bitcoin, and in fact, I could easily see us moving up here another $600 to the upside, again, at least testing that $12,000. I don't see any reason reason why Bitcoin would come all the way back up here, have 3 consistently higher swing highs, 3 to 4 consistently higher swing lows on this macro scale that we've been looking at throughout this consolidation, only to not retest one of its biggest levels of resistance. I think it makes sense. I think it would be textbook, and in fact, time will only tell, but I think that makes the most sense out of all the moves that Bitcoin could make here. But again, there is still potential to the downside. Obviously, we do have downside targets. If it wants to retrace after a $1,000 move, which has almost happened, just this weekend, but just in the past couple of days here, if it wants to retrace a little bit here, it wouldn't be a horrible idea anyway. We just set up some more support for ourselves. And again, we do see that golden cross here on the 4-hour time scale. Now, moving this over to a daily, just to take a quick glimpse of what this looks like, our 50 EMA is looking upwards right now, and yes, we have seen a little bit of rejection over here on these daily candles. We are starting to see some wicks come in, but nothing that I'm too worried about as of right now. The candles are still green, and we're still holding above support. So that is the quick recap for Bitcoin. Nice little spike in volume here. Really good weekend move. I'm excited to see how this opens up on Monday and on Tuesday. But Bitcoin is absolutely killing it right now, as are a lot of things. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button, and I will do my best to put out videos several times a week. And we usually have a live stream that happens on Sunday evening / Sunday night. So if that interests you guys, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment any thoughts or questions that you guys have down in the comment section down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.